Jackson Welch. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right, cool, dude. Thank you for joining me
Yeah.
for an episode of On That Note. I'm stoked to talk about your new tunes and your EP that's coming out. But your new single, Miracles, is coming out Friday, September 1st, right?
Yeah.
And that's the
September
last
1st.
song on the EP?
Mm-hmm. Yep, there's four total. Miracles, the last one.
That's right. So you also put out, and then there's You, Wings, and Sleepyhead, all bops. I especially love Sleepyhead.
Thank you.
I was listening to that today. But honestly, Miracles, I think, is my favorite.
Wow.
Yeah,
Very
the last
cool.
one, it just feels like, I think it's just right up my alley.
Yeah.
Like a really nice indie rocker.
It's definitely the most intense and the closest thing to rock that I think that I've ever done. Yeah.
When you wrote it, did you know it was going to feel that way? Or did it kind of come into that once you were in the studio with Tommy of WBAZ Records?
WBAZ. Yeah, I think that, I mean, I start everything with my acoustic guitar. And so whenever I'm writing, whenever I'm starting to hit my guitar a little bit harder, that's when I know that it's probably going to turn into something bigger. And, initially I didn't think that it was going to be such a heavy hitter, but I think as well, like the content of the lyrics is a little bit more vulnerable and not shying away from like frustration. And so I think that it pairs really well with the instrumentation, and it just leaned that way, and it just worked, I guess. So yeah,
that's awesome. How did you know that this was going to be the last song that you put out?
Yeah, I think that with this EP, I wanted to do a lot. I wanted it to be very broad in terms of emotion. And, the first couple ones were a little bit softer, a nice introduction into me, because I like to think that I'm chill, I guess.
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm, that's the music that I listen to most often is more often than not more chill, easier to listen to. And so I felt like that was a good introduction to me. And then, picking up the tempo a little bit with Sleepyhead. And then, I just kind of wanted to hammer it home with
A bit of a linear progression.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, I'd say.
Does it feel like you're closing a chapter of your musical career now that you're putting out the last piece of this EP in a way?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, being I'm also a part of Champagne Lane, so
Right.
It's a different, excuse me, this is just a whole different musical project for me, and it was something that I just needed to get out. And, it's very different genre-wise from anything that Champagne Lane is. And so, it's just a little creative part of me that didn't feel like it lined up with Champagne Lane, and it felt like it's a good first chapter for myself.
Yeah.
So
I'm always curious how people decide when they're writing a song if it feels like it belongs to the band they're in, or if it feels more like a solo thing, because I haven't had to run into that problem yet. So for you, how did you know that these 4 songs were Jackson Welch songs, not Champagne Lane songs?
yeah, I think that it was more or less like the content of what I was writing about. Like Champagne Lane is, such a fun, exciting musical experience. And I feel like these 4 songs were just very, very personal to me. And I wanted to take some time to explore the more personal, intimate side of music for me, and wanted something out there that was just a reflection of just me and where I'm at. And, very happy that got to take the time to make that music. And, by no means is Champagne Lane like a closed chapter by any means,
right.
but it was just a nice little breather for me to just explore some stuff about myself. Felt like kind of therapy along the way, I guess.
Yeah. In what ways did it feel like therapeutic? Because, I mean, writing in general, I feel like can be, but was there anything specific about it that was like, oh, I don't know if I would have gotten this out of doing this with the band?
Yeah, I think that, I was kind of constantly having these thoughts about, just hitting big, milestones, which is the name of the EP, but just like hitting really big milestones in my life personally, like, finishing college, getting married, getting my own space and all that. With
Sorry for the plane.
No, it's all
everyone.
good.
We get trains, we get horns, we get cicadas. We rarely get a loud ass plane. Funny enough.
All good.
So there's a new one.
All good.
Sorry, as you were saying.
Yeah, sorry about that. Very ADD, so I'll stop
It's okay.
mid-sentence.
Me too. I was like,
what's going on?
Have to acknowledge it.
Yeah, it's just I would say that exploring my own personal life and relationships with my family members, and then family members that I've lost as well. Just like, what is it like to be a early to mid 20s guy hitting all these milestones, and then like, once you're through these, looking ahead, it's like, all right, what's next? I just kind of have the rest of my life to kind of figure out. Like in the late teens and early 20s, you're hitting these big high school graduation, college graduation, all these major events in life, and then once you're kind of through it, looking forward can be a little bit daunting. So it was me just kind of taking a step back and exploring what that means to me, I guess.
Yeah, man, it does feel like there's definitely such thing as a quarter life crisis.
Oh yeah.
Like around 25-ish, you start to realize like, oh, I'm not really a kid anymore. I'm not a teenager. Like there are very real things I need to start thinking about, and you can't really avoid it anymore, but you're also not 30 yet. So like the world doesn't quite see you as like a fully grown adult either. So it's this weird in between space that is very like ripe and fruitful for navigating your emotions that you can put into songs.
Yeah. And can also be, really scary. Like having no idea what you want to do. Like you feel like you're in the body of an adult, but still have the mind of like a 17-year-old, just like wanting to continue to be young and not have the amount of responsibility that comes with age. So, I think that it was more of a examining where I'm at and just addressing where I'm at in a really gracious way, and whatever emotions that, I needed to get out, I feel like I was able to really get them out in a concise project, which I'm really thankful for.
Yeah. Was it ever scary having to write down, your real thoughts and feelings? For me, it's like, I don't know, like it's one thing to take in other people's music and hear what is clearly very personal to somebody else, and not really process that as someone had to go through that and like be comfortable enough sharing that. But as a listener, it's not always. There's a motorcycle. There's another one.
And to flex real quick.
And a nice little flex, yeah. But yeah, something about, for me, there was a disconnect at first listening to some favorite artists and, understanding that what they're talking about is something very personal to them, but not necessarily putting myself in those shoes until I tried holding myself to a higher standard of what I'm trying to say in songs. And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, this is scary, because people are going to listen to it. And like most people probably won't necessarily like delve too deep into the lyrics, but still it's like it's very personal. So is there moments for you where there were like maybe some hesitation, but you pushed through anyway?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you listen to, I don't know, some of the songs that hit the most, you may not even like really understand how deep they're diving in to what's going on in their life, but you hear a line that really sticks out to you, and for whatever reason, it just really, really resonates. I feel like as an artist, to be able to, touch people in that way, you have to be really, really authentic with yourself about what's going on, because it's when you put those little sprinkles of, hey, this is the real me in music, that's when you're going to be able to be understood. But to like look at the top of the mountain from the bottom and being like, this is what I want for myself, this is what I want this project to be, I'm I don't know, it can be really, really daunting. So it takes a lot of courage, I would say, to write about what's really going on. And it also takes a bit of really trying to push through moments where you feel just kind of like dead space, because if you're writing a song and you're like, I'm trying to express this emotion of frustration and anger and sadness, you don't want to just write like, I'm so sad. You want to
Yeah.
It's like trying to find a way to say a feeling that everybody has without saying the feeling that everybody has.
Without beating it over the head or using a cliche. Yeah, and that is when you start to find your own voice, when you can start to figure out what sounds cool to you. It's almost like a language. It's like your own way of communicating something that can be very heavy, but could possibly be delivered in almost a lighthearted way.
Yeah.
And then if then the listener can delve deeper into like the true meaning of it. But it is interesting all the ways you can choose to communicate I am sad.
Right.
There's a million different ways, and it's daunting to figure out which one makes the most sense for you.
Yeah. And by no means am I saying that I have cracked the code and I am able to communicate perfectly to other people what I'm feeling, but I feel like for myself, I am proud of myself for what I was able to put down on paper, and then really, really excited to be able to share that with, people that received it really well. And they're like, hey, I understand what you're trying to say, and we're going to figure out a way to put this music around it that's going to complement it. And, however people choose to receive it, that's great. But I am really happy with how it turned out. And it's not all sad either. The whole project, not this big sad thing.
Right.
But
that's just the easiest emotion to go to when you're talking about being nervous to share something.
Yeah.
But it could be a lot of things. You could be nervous to share joy or envy. Just like there's so many emotions you could extract and put in your songs that can be a bit nerve-wracking to admit, maybe. But there's something very powerful and empowering about putting yourself through that and coming out the other side with something that feels very authentic to you. And not that this always has to be a barometer, but I've heard that when you are scared about something you've written, like you write it and you're like, oh, I'm kind of scared to show this. That's a pretty good sign that there's something very real there.
Yeah, I agree.
But it also doesn't have to be that all the time.
True. And I feel like that is what that's what Champagne Lane gets to be for me.
Okay.
It's I enjoy making music. It's so much fun. My partner Jake Rogers, phenomenal musician. Just so much fun to create together, and that's what that is for me. And I absolutely love it and wouldn't trade it for the world. But it's a project that I felt like I needed to release this new stuff under my own name because it is me. So
Yeah, everything has their own place.
Yeah.
That band provides a certain feeling and a certain output for you. but this stuff just requires something else, and that's totally cool.
Yeah.
So gearing towards more of the technical and the production side
Yeah.
of things, you worked with Tommy Trautwein of WBAZ Records here in Athens, and Tommy's the man. I've said a million great things about him on this show already. I've had him on, but also I'm just curious, when other people work with him, how their experience was, what was the day-to-day in terms of recording, how did you typically go through recording each of these songs with him?
Yeah, I pretty much presented each song. We tackled one at a time. A lot of times, if people have a project, they can tackle different parts of different songs in the same.
Like go through all the drums for all the songs.
Yeah, no, we did each song one at a time. We're going to see it through from beginning to end, and that was really, really great. First one, I pretty much released them in order of how I presented them to Tommy, besides Miracle and Sleepyhead. Sleepyhead was actually the last one that I wrote, but yeah, it was a super, super fun process. It clicked pretty immediately, I would say, and yeah, just super. It felt like just being able to streamline ideas really fast. We're like, hey, we need this part, we need like a lead line here. Mm-hmm. Boom, get rubber bridge guitar,
right?
Whatever, just knock it out. And that was super, super refreshing, just to have an idea, run with it, and then complete.
Yeah,
we're gonna move on.
How much would you say was planned in your head, ready to go, and how much was spontaneous?
I think for the first two, and then there's You and Wings, I had a pretty good idea of how I wanted them to sound. But the last two, like Sleepyhead and Miracle, it was, here's this idea. Miracle, I had maybe half the song complete, and it was like a demo. We finished recording Wings, and it was like a weekend. We did Friday and Saturday, half a Saturday, we knocked it out. And then Tommy was like, you got anything else? And I was like, I guess I'm working on this thing right now, and played it. And he was like, whoa, we got to do that. Let's start right now.
And that was which song?
Miracle.
Oh, okay.
We did Miracle in half Saturday, Sunday, done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's fun.
So you started to do a different song, and then halfway through,
we got through Wings quicker than I thought we would.
You expected. Okay.
And we had a lot of. We had a day and a half to spare.
Right.
And he was like,
so were you even planning on recording Wings?
No.
Wow. Okay.
No, I wasn't even planning on recording Miracle.
That's what I meant. Miracle.
Yeah. I wasn't planning on it. It was one that I had no idea that it was even going to be a song.
Right.
But I played it, and he was like, we got to do that right now.
Whoa.
So it was cool.
Did you just say fuck it, yeah, let's go? Or did you have any hesitation of should it be this song?
No, it was all right, I'm here for it.
So
we just started it and finished writing, the rest of the lyrics on the couch in there, and it clicked. And also throughout the whole project, it's been super cool. I've got to, bring friends and family to help put their own little splash and taste on the song as well. Super funny. We were recording, and then there's You, and my mom was in town coming to drop off something for me, and we brought her in, and she laid down some claps for the song, and that was fun to have mom on the track.
Yeah, adding your own little spice to it.
Oh yeah,
is always fun.
Yeah.
Getting the friends and the family just to come and do a little quick thing here and there. It just makes it a little extra personal for you.
Oh yeah, and especially with the the project being about me and my family, that was really cool.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I got my brother Tanner to be on. He came to pretty much every session. Got to put something down
Oh,
on
cool.
pretty much each of the
Does
songs.
he play music?
Yeah, he's a freak.
Oh, there you go.
In a good way. He is a really good guitar player. He's like a pedal head.
Oh, okay.
And so he's the tone maestro, I would say.
Nice.
So he brought some of his gear and
Does he play in your band?
no, so Champagne Lane is just Jake and I. We write and record everything.
I guess I meant with like your solo stuff.
Oh, sorry. So I haven't done any shows.
Okay.
With the solo stuff yet. The first one, September 1st, opening up for Mr. Zach Crook and his album release.
That's right. Y'all better be there.
Yeah.
At the historic Athens
Firehouse.
Firehouse.
Yeah.
That's right. Right on Baxter or
Shoot, I don't know.
Prince.
Zach was like,
Avenue.
I want to play a show at a weird place.
It's right there. Like it's right down the road.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even seen it yet, so
It's an interesting
super
space.
excited.
I'm very curious.
Yeah.
Because it's not really, from when I've been there, it doesn't seem like a music venue.
a traditional
No,
music venue.
by no means. But I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I'm
But-
excited.
Are you playing with a band or solo?
Yeah, so I'm playing. It's me. Tommy is on the drums. Because he played drums on all the tracks.
Yeah.
He killed it, by the way.
Of course.
Mr. Ian White, getting him on
Yes.
guitar,
Cool.
and then actually Jake from Champagne Lane,
There you go.
getting my buddy playing the bass.
Nice.
So,
So 4-piece.
4-piece, yeah,
Cool.
it'd be real fun.
September 1st, which is also when Miracle is coming out, right?
Right. Yeah, it just kind of worked out. Trying to find a good release date. I'd held on to Miracle for a while. Shout out to Tommy again. He did way too many mixes for me. Way too many. It was egregious. And
How many are we talking? Double digits?
double digits.
Oh, wow.
It was.
Well, now I don't feel bad asking for a fifth one,
Oh
Tommy.
no, it was. Listen, that one, because we recorded it so fast, I didn't really have an idea of how I wanted it to sound. It was just kind of like plugging in pieces as we go. And so like once, like the recording is great. We didn't, there was no shortcuts or anything taken there. But like once the song was, going to be mixed, it just took a while for me to articulate what I wanted and what I didn't want. And he was very, very patient. And now we're here.
That's awesome. It is funny, like, you don't know what you want or don't want until it's there or not there.
Oh yeah.
There's been so many times where I'm like, hey, can you turn up the tambourine or the whatever? And then he does, and I'm like, never mind.
kidding. I
That sounds
hated that.
terrible. Please reverse that
Right.
immediately.
Yeah.
But you don't know until you know.
Yeah.
You have to ask. You got to try things out.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think from the process of working with Tommy on this record? What do you think you've learned that you would definitely take with you into future projects and future recordings?
I think that going into future projects and recordings, get as much of the song on the same page. Like me as a songwriter, bringing a song to somebody else or bringing lyrics to somebody else, like as much as we can have complete going into it, it'll help the recording process go so much smoother. Whereas, if you're just like workshopping songs with somebody else, you can kind of be more hesitant to go down a road. Like whenever you're collaborating with someone, if they start going down a road where you're like, I don't really know if I agree with the direction of that, you can get anxious and feel like you're losing time and all that. But like having almost complete, if not complete songs to be able to present and say, okay, now we're going to record, it just made it so much quicker.
Yeah.
And, we were both on the same page of like, hey, I want drums to have this feel to them. You're the sound guy. You can make them sound however.
Right.
This is what I want it to feel like. And so when that feeling is on the same page, the process is awesome.
Having a very articulate vision and game plan going into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And sometimes even when you do have that, there can be moments when like with my experience with Tommy, there would be times where him and Hampton from Walter Slide, they would be kind of locked in on this one thing that they were trying to do. And after like 10 or 15 minutes, I'm like, y'all, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is this worth it? Like, we're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And sometimes, every time in this case, it always ended up working, right? But sometimes you do got to know, like, when to pull the cord on something that has now gone too astray from the original vision. And then sometimes you got to know, no, be patient. Like, this will be worth it.
It's like calculated crossroads. Like, you're going to hit a point in every song where a new part is about to be recorded, and there's multiple ways of tackling it. The more you can eliminate those crossroads and you're on the same wavelength going into it, you're going to choose naturally the same pathways a lot more often, I guess I would say.
Especially if everybody has an understanding of what the vision is for the song, what the vibe is before you even start recording. Rick Rubin said something. He just distilled down his recording process to basically, I'm just making decisions. Do I like choice A or choice B more?
Yeah.
And then you pick choice A and then you go that way. And it's like, it really is that simple at the end of the day. Which one do you like more? Pick that one and then keep going. And it's like, sometimes it feels way more than that, but at the end of the day, it really is just, which one do you like more?
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of times, like, if you feel like you have to make the song a lot weirder,
right,
or like add...
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, like if you have to feel like you have to fluff it up a lot with just weird elements, or like, that stuff is totally cool. But if you're trying to make that the solution to, I don't really know if this song is right, ultimately it's like, is this a good song?
Right.
So
yeah, and how much can you take away is always an interesting question to keep in the back of your head while you're recording, because I can go down a rabbit hole of synth, drum machine, crazy lead line, whatever. But if you can take away, how much can you take away, like Jenga, before it's still standing and it's still like a great song?
Yeah.
And that's always something I personally am trying to do, because I always want to lean towards just making shit crazy and weird. But some of the best songs ever are an acoustic guitar and a vocal, and they had to choose to do it that way. They could have done it a million other ways.
Yeah, it's like the inner singer-songwriter in me loves, like, the stripped version of a lot of songs, because it's so, you get such a different perspective into, like, how it was written, and
right,
you're like, man, at the core of all this, you can take everything away, it's just still a damn good song. So,
do you have a favorite part of the creative process, whether that's maybe the very beginning stages of writing or recording or playing it live, or even something very specific in between?
I think that honestly, my favorite part is when you're like 3/4 of the way done with it, and you're like, it feels good. I know that there's still some more touches we can put on this, or like, there's still some little stuff that needs to be done, but all the words are there. My part's done, and now I can just kind of sit and enjoy it while it's still mine.
Yep.
When
the words are done, that feeling is so nice.
Good. It, like, I love writing, but writing is so hard. it's just hard. And whenever you're finally able to get through, I'm done doing vocal takes. I'm done. Basically everything is there. The last little finishing touches, we're just sitting in the room.
So you're talking about recording.
Yeah, recording.
Okay.
Like, I mean, it's always so fun kind of falling into discovering a new song as you're writing it.
Right.
Like, that's so much fun. That's great. But, like, I would say the part that I can, like, sink in and enjoy the most is when it's almost finished. And, you know, I don't have to worry about prepping a release or promo. Promo is my sleep paralysis demon. I hate promo so much.
Post on Reels, make a TikTok.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Blow up, go viral.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Follow the next trend. It's tough, man. It's definitely I don't want to say a necessary evil because it's not for everyone, but the reality is it is a TikTok, things like that. They are a tool, a free tool at your disposal, and you don't have to use it, but it can be very helpful if you're good at it.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, we're doing that so that we can promote the thing that we love to do.
True. And it's so right. And like it's the evil other side of being creative, of like, I make things that I think are really cool and I'm proud of them and I want to show them to other people, but I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
You know, nobody wants to
like
be
shoving it down people's throats.
Nobody
So
wants to
fine
be
line.
nobody wants to be that guy. And I don't know. I think that's why I like when it's the almost finished, where it's like I can sink in and feel this and it's mine, and I'm still so excited about it.
Right.
So,
dude, I agree with you. The studio setting is what I love the most, and so far it's really been because I really trust the people that are producing and engineering it to do a really good job. And it's like the hard work on my end is really just, you know, making sure I can do the best vocal takes I can and some of the best, you know, rhythm guitar stuff. But like, I can trust everyone else to come in with like a killer bass line or a killer drum fill, you know, things like that.
oh yeah.
And it's cool to watch the song evolve into something that you've always heard.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. It's like I hear something in my head and I'm trying to figure out a way to get it out. And when that clicks, it's like euphoria.
Yes. Yeah, it's like the universe met you halfway.
Yeah.
You know, you gave your end and then the universe says, okay, here's the rest of what you were hearing in your head.
Yeah. And you know, along the way in the recording process and the studio time, I'll be the first to say it. I feel like I'm like half narcoleptic. Whenever other people are like working
like
on stuff for a
knocking
while,
out.
I'm like, all right, my job is done. I trust you.
Yeah.
Just give me 10 and I elbow power nap.
Yeah, there's something nice about that too. Just like sitting in and absorbing what's happening without having to pay too much attention to it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can be the opposite, where I want to be a bit of a control freak, back to when Tommy and Hampton are spending 15 minutes programming the sound that I'm like, what's happening? Why are we not doing anything? But they are. It's all the, you know, I mean, when you're baking a pie, you got to wait the 45 minutes for it to get made in the oven, you know? So you can't just skip that part. You do have to be patient with certain things. I do too many analogies. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm like
dude,
always like, I teach music and I always make up some dumb analogy for my student. And then they're like, what the hell are you talking about?
I get that. I totally get that though. Like even outside of music, I'm such a project oriented person. Like whether I'm, you know, trying to make like a flower bed in my backyard or whatever, I'm so like,
that sounds so peaceful.
well, I mean, whatever project I'm working on, I made, like I had some extra wood laying around, so I like made a pedal board for myself.
Cool.
And it's so easy to like let ideas get ahead of you and be like, maybe it's the ADD in me being like, this has to happen now because I just thought of it right now.
Right.
But like letting other people figure out what they're doing, or like having to drive to the hardware store, like that's the part that you wish you could skip. But,
yeah, true.
But is like it's such a necessary part of the process.
Yeah.
The knob turning and the
dialing in that tone.
all that.
That's you got to learn to be patient with that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's what makes it good, and it's fun if you can just sit and enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
we never talked about the Beach
Yeah.
Boys Pet Sounds album, which you picked to display here. If you're watching the YouTube video, you can see it. If you're listening to the audio, there's also YouTube, so check that out.
Check it out.
But yeah, let's talk about this for a quick sec before we go into the last 5. What made you pick what some may say is the best album of all time?
Right. Growing up, back when CDs were all the rage, I lived by the Mall of Georgia growing up.
Okay.
So my dad would take me and my brother to the used buy-sell trade CD store.
Nice.
And we would, he would grab a couple, be like, "You've got to listen to this." We'd go home in the basement, working out. I'm like 11.
That's sick.
Working out with the weights in the basement with dad, trying to be cool.
That's cool. You got the tank top on.
Oh yeah. The unfinished basement,
Right.
with all the what is it in the wall? The
This
insulation.
I almost said asbestos.
All the
Hopefully
asbestos in my basement.
Yeah. The insulation, I got you.
But yeah, just the nostalgia. This was just one that really stuck with me. I am like really huge on harmonies. Like I just freaking love harmonies. Grew up in choir, and so just listening to all of the intricacies that the Beach Boys are able to pull together with their harmonies, super inspiring, super influential. I would say in my music today, even though I'm not making the surf rock.
Right. Yeah. Would you say this is your favorite Beach Boys album?
I'd say so.
It's a good answer. To be honest, I really don't know any full albums of theirs. Like,
I don't either.
other than this one. I mean,
Yeah.
just because my friend was telling me like you have to listen to this one, and obviously there's Wouldn't It Be Nice? God Only Knows.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything else really, and
I really don't either. But I just, sometimes it's like just seeing the cover art. It'll just take you back to this random memory that's tucked away in a closet deep in your existence.
and
it's like, whoa.
comes up through the surface.
Yeah.
Takes you way back.
Oh yeah. So it took me straight back to the asbestos.
The asbestos-filled basement.
Right.
Working out with your dad.
Right.
It's funny to picture you working out with your dad to like God Only Knows.
Oh yeah. God only knows.
Yeah. Cranking out the iron.
That's right. Getting a quick pump in.
Exactly.
To Pet Sounds.
Cool. Well, Jackson, you want to take this over to the last 5?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. So the universe is going to pick the questions for you.
right.
You're going to pick out a little piece of paper.
Okay.
Please do not accidentally rip the paper when you're done.
Uh-oh.
I've had a few guests do that, and then I got to rewrite them, and now it's become
Irreplaceable.
it's like happened 3 times in a row, so now I'm just going to have to start saying it every
right.
time.
I won't rip it.
Thank you.
We're going to get...
Number 1. Oh, it's pre-ripped. Somebody already pre-ripped it.
Come on. Okay. Underrated artist at the moment. Man, I have been on these guys for a while. My boys that don't know me at all. Toledo.
I've heard of them.
I am a Toledo stan.
Okay.
I love it. They're great. So whenever we put out,
Let me look them up.
dude, you will not regret it. Whenever we were putting out Golden Hour, the Champagne Lane song, there's this website called Submit Hub where you can go and submit your songs to playlists and whatnot, and randomly found there's like a chart of like most popular right now. And there's this one song that came up by them, Some Samurai. It's the first one I heard. I was like, whoa, this is really good. Looked them up. They were tiny. They were like the size of, Champagne Lane. And I was like, whoa, these guys should not be, they should be way more popular than us.
Yeah.
And they've since blown up a little bit. They've put out their first album, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago.
Oh, wow.
How It Ends. They put out 2 EPs. They're both excellent, but How It Ends by Toledo, I cannot recommend enough.
Give it a listen.
It's like, you have your favorite bands that your parents show you, but like my favorite band that I found on my own, it's got to be Toledo. Yeah.
Wow. There's such a great feeling of finding your own band. And it's not that you don't want to share it with other people, but there is, I mean, you can't deny this feeling of like, they feel like they're my
absolutely
band, you know? And then when you do meet somebody who likes them, you're like, oh my God. Like when you saw the Kevin Crowder albums, you're like, I don't know anybody that likes Kevin Crowder.
Yeah.
And it's like, that feeling is so sick when you finally meet someone who has the same level of what's the word, tenacity maybe, for another artist you love.
It's super cool, but then also inside I hate them a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
That's mine. You can't have that.
Yeah, you can't. Exactly. Very territorial.
Right.
So Toledo.
I'll
check out the new album.
Yeah, you need to. They're great. It's like I don't know. They come up with some really, really great tones. It's like easy listening meets like soft indie rock, and that's like right up my alley.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's see number 2.
All right, number 2.
Question number 2.
All right. Best album covers.
Like
album
cover. Artwork.
Yeah, album artwork.
Who covers a whole album?
Right. It's like, geez. Best album artwork. Wow. Golly. I mean,
this is a tough one.
It is a tough one because, like, immediately you just think of one thing and you're like, I can't get off of that.
Right.
So, I mean, I hate to be basic, but it deserves its respect. The first thing that came to my mind immediately was Currents, Tame Impala.
Oh, interesting.
I just think that album
not what I thought
gnarly.
you were going to say.
Yeah.
I thought you would have been like Dark Side of the Moon, because that is like the first thing I think of.
Yeah.
But yeah, Currents, that's an interesting pick.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those that is, you know, you take a look at it, and then like the longer you look at it, the more it just kind of messes with you. Like the straight lines going into the
marble, the orb.
Yeah, super cool. I love it.
That's a great answer. You could have said the same thing. I think Lonerism is a great album cover. It's so perfectly, like I never noticed that you're behind a gate. The guy, when you take the,
you're gonna have to show me. You know what I do? That just clicked. That's
he's
crazy.
Behind a gate. You don't really think about it at first because the gate is so close to where with the lens of
it's like cast iron
camera.
bars or something.
Yeah, and on the other end is all these people like chilling in the sun.
Yeah,
and it's called Lonerism, so it makes sense. He's like on the other side, but it's a subtle thing, or at least it's subtle to me. I don't know. Maybe somebody else picked up on it.
I didn't pick up on it.
There
it's
you
cool
go.
when stuff like that clicks, though.
Yeah, and the first album cover, I wouldn't say it's like mind blowing, but it fits the vibe of the music. You know,
I agree.
So there you go, Tame Impala.
Yeah,
I didn't really like the new album cover though.
The Slow Rush.
Yeah, all the sand.
Dude,
like,
that was so cool. You got to think. Okay, in my mind, I'm like, how did they take that picture?
That's true.
And then they literally filled a building with sand.
They actually did.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
We'll look it up.
I could be very wrong.
I don't know how you do it otherwise, unless it's just a bunch of Photoshop, but it looked pretty real.
I feel like AI wasn't that good back then either.
Maybe not. Yeah, probably not. But
I don't know.
If anybody had the money at that time to do it,
I like to think
Tame Impala.
That Kevin Parker and his creative director were like, we're going to have to fill an abandoned house with sand, a lot of it.
And then they did a bunch of it because they did other covers that had the same concept.
Yeah.
But okay, so we can agree to disagree maybe on that last one. But you're convincing me a little bit.
I just like to think about the thought process that went into it.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, hear me out.
Yeah. What if? No, that's a great answer. Currents.
Yeah.
Let's see number 3.
All right, let's do it. Try to pick the ones from the bottom to get no love.
Good call.
3 desert island albums. That's a good question.
Yeah, you can only pick 3.
I was trying to think of. I was kind of going through my Spotify today. Me and my brother were talking about, what top 10 songs would you say like best feel like you? And I was like, that's way too hard.
That's pretty tough.
And we narrowed it down to, or we broadened it, I would say, to albums because, you know,
It's a little bit easier.
it's a little bit easier. So I did just go through today a bunch of albums that are like my all-time, that feel the most like me, that I would love to be stuck on a desert island to. One would be Every Kingdom, Ben Howard.
I really don't know anything by Ben Howard.
Dude,
Every Kingdom?
I believe it's Every Kingdom by Ben
Let me
Howard.
pull it up so I can save it for later.
That's like, what, 2012, on my way, just got my learner's permit, or just got my driver's license, driving my younger brother to school every day in the morning. Just play it.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
It
conjures up a lot
it's
of
really good morning acoustic music. I would say, like,
Yeah.
wakes me up enough to walk into school. It's really peaceful and was like super influential in a lot of I don't know, early writing, I would say.
nice. So we got Ben Howard's
Ben
Every
Howard.
Kingdom.
We got I believe it is Come Away With Me by Norah Jones.
Okay.
Another one of those
Yeah.
smooth. I feel like if I was on a desert island, I would want like the most calming.
Right. This is what I
Music.
realized when I was chatting with I think it was Telemarket,
Yeah.
and they came up with this question, and my three answers were like Blonde, Frank Ocean, My Bloody Valentine's, Loveless, and then
That's Tanner's
and
favorite
then
album.
oh really?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And then I forgot what the other one. Oh, and Rainbows by Radiohead.
Yeah.
All three favorite albums, but they were like, you're gonna have a really depressing time
dude, I
on this
would have
island. I was like, that is a good point.
I'd
Let's
have
switch
a
it up.
panic attack listening to Loveless
Not good
alone on an
on
island.
an island forever. Yeah, not a good call.
Like doom and gloom.
Yeah, but Norah
a
Jones
great album.
would be
Norah Jones, that's like
good vibes.
singer-songwriter, like blues, piano, super good vibes. Yeah, Come Away With Me, Norah Jones. And then I would probably put the How It Ends Toledo album
Okay.
in there. That's like so freaking good.
Damn, and it came out only a couple months ago,
Yeah.
and it's already
Yeah.
top tier.
Yeah, for me. It's
That's
one of
sick.
those that, you know, like we were saying, you kind of obsess over somebody that you found.
Right.
And so, you know, their first full-length album, I was like, oh my God, they can do no wrong.
Right.
So I'm still riding the high.
Nice. Keep
So-
on riding it.
As of right now, that's album number 3.
Sick.
Yeah.
Let's see what question number 3 is.
4.
Four.
4, I believe.
Damn. I'm losing it.
All good. In the studio or playing live? Good question. I've spent a lot more time, I would say, in the studio. It's funny. I really haven't done a lot of live shows. Mm-hmm. Whenever I do,
Kind of the same way.
whenever I do, it's like, this is a blast. I love it. But I also, I don't know, like when I'm up on stage or wherever I'm performing, I don't feel anxiety at all. I really don't. But it's like the committing to doing a show that I'm like, oh my God, I suck. I cannot prep for this. Just complete irrational fear.
But day of, you're good. You're cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, I would say.
That's so funny.
It's pretty weird. I would
get
say.
it though. Like the pressure of committing to it
Right.
is hard, and making sure everybody's
Oh, yeah.
ready to go.
Oh yeah. Like, I don't know, but like once you're up on stage, it's like, I'm here.
Right.
I mean, there's no use in worrying now. You just
Exactly.
got to do the thing that people are here to watch you do. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I get like the same anxiety. God, I hope none of my wife's friends see this.
Y'all can stop listening here.
If you are my wife's friend, stop.
Yeah, stop right now.
Weddings, I can't do it. I
Wait,
can't
what do you
it.
mean?
Like,
Going to weddings?
no,
or
like
playing at a
playing
wedding?
acoustic. I've been asked to play, like,
That sounds like a nightmare.
dude.
Sorry
it's-
for the train, everybody.
No, it's
by the
okay.
way,
It's internally, the train is screaming for
Yes.
me what I feel when I am asked to play a
yes,
wedding.
it's very
like,
symbolic.
that is next level pressure. to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's somebody's arguably most special day of their whole life.
Yeah. And I'm not there to mess it up.
No, no. Have you done it before?
Yeah, I've done like 3 weddings, just like, people walking down the aisle.
Right.
I played like one first dance song. But I know.
Dude, yeah.
After that,
I don't think I could handle that.
After that, I was like, listen, Walden, if any of your friends ask me, tell them I love them so much, but it's a non-negotiable. I'm not doing it.
It's not happening.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's awesome. You got to set your boundaries, man.
Yeah.
But that is such a it's like a internally high pressure thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I mean, when the live shows hit, they hit hard,
Right?
And it's an incredible feeling. But I think like getting together with a bunch of friends, making music in the studio, workshopping, that's so much fun.
The best.
Yeah,
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
I love the studio. Let's see what the last question is, and then we'll wrap it up. Yeah.
Unexpected musical influence. I've got two for this. So, musical influence that I absolutely love but doesn't sound anything like me at all. McGee.
Dude, I wrote him down. I was like, I need to bring up McGee, and I was just thinking, damn, I never brought him up.
Dude,
McGee's insane.
He is insane.
That's interesting because I kind of thought there were some similarities.
Cool.
Not like overt.
Yeah.
But
that's
like
awesome.
I could hear a little bit of influence.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's sick.
He's super sick. He's also a tone god.
Mm-hmm.
Just the sounds he's able to make, and I don't know. I think it's also, I like the idea of artists that are kind of like secluded and like not always out there. Here's what I'm doing all the time.
Yeah.
And he's like one of those guys.
You never know what he's up to.
He's literally a ghost. I mean, he's played a lot with Dijon as of late for their tour and album and whatnot. But like his solo stuff, there's no update until it's here. Mm-hmm. And I think that's super cool. He's already popular enough to do that. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that I am there by any means
It's weird though, because it's like what came first, He probably, True. I wonder how much he did earlier on do a lot of self-promotion and then maybe stopped, or maybe he just never was.
I have no idea.
Maybe he was just cool enough to get away with it,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just how it seems to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy is just undeniably cool.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And he's good. He's so good at what he does. He doesn't need to be.
Yeah. True.
What do you think of the new songs?
I think they're really cool. I like How Many Miles.
I was just talking about that with Zach. I don't know. I can see how it was almost designed for How Many Miles to grow on people.
Yeah.
Because Candy feels like it's supposed to be the one that you like first.
Yeah.
And then How Many Miles.
The most generally palatable.
Right. And then that one sneaks up on you.
Mm-hmm.
But even still.
Candy's super catchy.
Yeah, that was like made for me. Like I love that kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can dance to it, but there's almost never like a beat that drops.
Mm-hmm.
But it just has this danceability to it. And like you said, I mean, the tone, he's always killing the tone.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
But when I heard that, the How Many Miles Away, and that effect comes in, like I like had to stop what I was doing. I was like, holy shit. He's on a different level.
Yeah. He's super cool. I loved Museum of Contradiction, the mixtape.
Yep.
I believe he called it a mixtape.
Oh, he did? I never knew that.
But
it feels more like one.
Yeah. But my favorite one off that is like Dimeback.
Dimeback.
That's like soul music for me.
That's funny because that one I don't skip it, but it was never my favorite. I think the one I really gravitated towards on that was Isn't It Convenient or Isn't It
Oh
So
yeah,
Convenient?
yeah, that one as well.
Oh,
That one's
when it starts building up, all these like weird synth layers kind of creep in. Western, I always thought was crazy sounding.
that one's gnarly.
Yeah, it's so weird
Yeah, it's like super
and
top
overtime.
end heavy. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you know, it comes in and it's like
And it's like two completely different sections.
yeah, and it breaks it. Yeah, whenever like the chorus or
Right.
the hook, I guess, comes in, it's like super lo-fi.
Yeah, and the one that's not pronounced McGee, I always forget the name of it. It's it's underrated. The one that's like a tan album cover. It looks like
Pronounced McGee.
No, the
that the name?
pronounced McGee is the really colorful, like what looks like a backyard.
Yeah.
The other one, it's not Fool, but Come On, You Know I'm Your Fool is on it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't remember the name of the
Oh
album.
my god.
though.
Yeah.
But people don't really like. It's not in his.
I like that one a lot.
It says it's a single. That's weird because it's definitely like 6 songs. It's 7 songs, but it's in the single section,
weird.
which is weird.
That is really weird.
But
I
I
like-
guess
I like that
I
one
guess
more.
he called it an EP. But yeah, it's called Fool. It is called Fool. New Year, Wheel, Come On.
Wheel was my favorite. I like Wheel a lot.
Wheel was awesome. I loved Come On as well. And then I thought C or SI, I can't really tell. The bonus track was really sick too. He's the man.
Yeah, he's super
He
cool.
he deserves even more praise than he already gets.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like your favorite artist.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. He'll be, if he doesn't blow up in like a household way, he will definitely still be considered like in 20 years the
He's
guy who like
produced.
influenced a shit ton of people.
He's produced a ton of stuff. He produced like a Kid Laroi song. Like
Really?
yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. It was really good.
Because they almost look similar to me.
Yeah,
You know?
they do kind of look like.
I was like, is that just his alter ego?
right,
You know, he's actually this huge pop star.
right, older and younger brother.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so that's the first half, and then the other unexpected musical influence is Porches.
Oh, dude.
I'm a Porches freak.
Porches is crazy. You're in the right house. Everybody in this
yeah.
house loves Porches. What's your favorite like album or go to?
All Day Gentle Hold.
That's the new one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's the red,
Yeah.
red album cover.
I think that's my favorite as well.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's Water Gets Inside messes me up,
Yeah.
and
I love Back 3 School.
yeah, that
I
one's
hate
cool.
that he called it that though.
Back 3 School.
It makes me just it's so annoying.
So Porches of him.
Yeah, but that song is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Every song on that album is actually fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Swarovski Crystals.
That one.
Yeah.
I do this funny little thing. I don't know. My wife thinks everything. My wife thinks the dumbest things that I do are funny, that I'm not even like trying to be funny. So like that Swarovski song, he does the I took a sip of something sweet. I started doing that randomly, and now all of my in-laws make fun of me for it.
For singing that?
Well, God, it's so stupid. It's like I'll eat a good piece of food and I'll be like, I took a sip of soup. And then they're all like, what the hell
You
is
just
wrong
do
with
it
you?
when you eat something really good?
Music just comes out of me all day. Good food,
Constantly
I'm singing.
referencing.
While I'm working, I whistle.
Sick.
It's just,
Whistle while you work.
right. It doesn't stop. But yeah, Porches, it's crazy. It's like that angsty side that I never really fleshed out in myself in high school. I was never like an angsty guy.
Right.
But he's like the
He channels it for you.
yeah.
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 Do you like his older stuff as well?
It's okay. I'm not as much into like the house dance mix type scene that a lot of his earlier stuff is.
Yeah.
But I think creatively he's super cool. Like I love his like music videos.
Yeah.
The aesthetic that he brings with that. Like the music video for Lately, it's crazy. You gotta watch it.
Oh, that's when he's like in the house, and he's
house.
like everything's in reverse.
He's just like dancing around. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that and the Back 3 School music video is really sick too. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so cool. I I really did like his older stuff a lot, but I love the new album even more. And now that I think about it, I'm like, the other albums he put out, there were pretty much always a guaranteed like 3 or 4 songs that I was like ride or die for.
Yeah.
And then the others I was more like hit or, kind of a miss.
Yeah.
But the new album, everything is a hit.
I like, front to back. I'll listen to that one. I listen to that one like in the gym.
Yeah.
It'll get you hyped.
Range
out
Rover.
of nowhere.
I'm like, to the Range Rover. I love that one. And that was like a bonus track, And it's one of the best, I think. But yeah, Porches and McGee, 2 great answers.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, Jackson Welch, that's our time. On that note, thank you for coming on, talking about Miracle, which will be out September 1st. This should be out before then, actually. Pretty quick turnaround. So if you're listening, listen to Miracle on September 1st and come out to your show at the historic Athens Firehouse to see you play as well as Zach Crook. I'm stoked. It's going to be a great show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Very excited. Good stuff.
Good stuff, man. Thanks again for coming on.
Of course.
Thank you again for tuning into the newest episode of On That Note with Parker Whirling. Remember, not only can you listen to the episodes on Apple Podcast and Spotify, but you can also watch the episodes on my YouTube channel, which is linked in the description below. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time.